Hello, guys. Welcome to the channel. If you're new, please subscribe. Check out my other videos. But for all you returning people, welcome back. So today, I have a banger video for you guys to enjoy. But before I get into it, I need to say, sorry for the lack of uploads in recent time. As I've had some personal issues that needed to be dealt with before I could start recording videos again. So this story is quite a hilarious one, resulting in quite a funny group of things happening. Now, this all starts around my late freshman year, or, somewhere around there. Not sure exactly when. So, this one fateful day, me and three other friends were watching rap videos, like rap music videos, while getting, a little high, a little zooted. These three particulars, my friends, these three guys were Eric, John, and Cody. If you haven't watched my previous videos, the three guys, whether they're together or maybe a couple of them are there, or maybe one of them is with me, these guys are and will continue to be common occurrences in my stories because these are probably some of the only guys was really hanging around with back then. Now, around this period in time, especially in our area, a certain purple drink was gaining popularity, especially in the school we went to. So while we were watching these music videos, because we had never done it, we thought that sipping lean was super tough. And because lean had become a popular commodity around the school, all the school plugs started to offer it on their list of products. At least the ones that didn't already offer it. The next day after school, me and Cody had linked up after school. And my paycheck had hit. We had had a plan to sip lean that day, but at the time we did not have any of the requirements. So me and Cody pop out at Walmart, and we make our way to the soda aisle. Just to be sure that we had enough, we grabbed 4 2 liters of regular Sprite. We made our way not too far to the aisle with all the paper products and whatnot. Now, the reason we were in here was to get some styrofoam cups, as this was the most classic thing to pour lean in. I think we bought a couple more things while we were there, at Walmart, but I don't think they have much importance to this story. So we made our way to Cody's place, and he had this crazy garage setup where we would usually smoke. There was the there was this big semicircle of couches that surrounded a TV hooked to an Xbox with a fairly big table in the middle. It was a glass table, I think, too. As most middle class white people do, Cody's family also had a fridge in their garage. It was usually never very full, so we put our 2 liters of Sprite in the fridge and our cups in a convenient place until we were able to sip. And it was only a matter of time before we did. So John and Eric's paychecks had also hit recently. Since we went and bought the commodities, they took their money to the plug and bought the drink. So the next day, which I believe was a Saturday, was when we all met up at Cody's garage. Now, I first have to explain how I and also this friend group like to pour out our lean. So we all had the same method, right? As I just stated. So, do you guys know how some fridges have like a crushed ice option? This was the first step. We put our crushed up ice in the styrofoam cups. Then shortly after, we dropped in our Sprite. Feel like I should also mention lean tastes way different than it did back when the story first happened. It used to come in a pretty good tasting grape or cherry flavor. hence the purplish color. But now they keep the color but make the taste worse. This is obviously because of retarded kids like us who think that drinking a pain reliever is just a smart idea. Anyway, back to the story. So once we got our crushed ice and Sprite in the cups, John pulled out the two mystical bottles of grape flavored codeine. Our eyes lit up immediately once we saw these bottles. Now, you might not know me and my friends that well, but we are on pussy mode when it comes to the dose of anything. So we pour up a double dose into our cups. Mind you, this is all of our first time sipping. We've never done this. We've never sipped lean, any of us, previously, before this. So we sit down and, we start pouring up and we start sipping, right? And of course, before this lean starts to hit, we hop on Call of Duty Zombies in this garage. And what is a zombie session without a little smoke session to go along with? So we spark up Cody's bong, which was always conveniently placed in his garage at basically all times, as this is where he would usually smoke, because his parents were kind of chill. A few minutes goes by, and we are definitely fried, but we don't know that the drink has hit us yet. So we get to about round 10 in our zombies game, and we've drank through about half of our cups, each of us. And not long after that, it starts to hit us. So we hit around round 20. In some way, somehow, we were able to keep this game afloat. But all I can say is we were chilling off of this lean. We were laid way back in them couches. So once we got to about round 30, we just couldn't handle it anymore. We were so retarded off of this lean that we just couldn't be productive anymore. And if it wasn't already apparently obvious, we had all finished our cups down to the last drippy drop. So once we all died in this zombies game, we took no time switching over to watching YouTube videos on the Xbox. While we were watching the first video, I see Cody literally nodding off in his section of the couch. I proceed to ask if he was good. About 5 seconds later, he says that he's just chilling. At this point, it's quite obvious that we were far too gone to actually pay attention to these YouTube videos. We had left them on mainly for noise as we had started to talk. Eventually, food had come up in the conversation, and we were super hungry because we really hadn't had anything other than this lean since this morning. And we damn near started salivating at the thought of some Taco Bell. John had brought up the idea of Taco Bell, and we instantly thought that shit was gonna smack. Yo, disclaimer, I just want to say, literally never do what we did in this next part. This could have easily killed everyone in this story. So after we finished watching this YouTube video, we decided to make the worst decision you could probably ever make while being under the influence. All four of us get into Cody's car, for which he just got his driver's license around 3 months prior. So he really hasn't had that much time under his real license. So we start driving to this Taco Bell, which was only around 2 miles away. And so now, why did we think this was a good idea? I really don't know. Especially since not but 30 minutes ago, Cody was literally nodding off on his own couch. But we somehow safely made it to the Taco Bell with only a few minor crosses over the yellow line in the middle. Whilst in the drive-thru, we were so fucked up the cashier could barely understand what we were screaming through our windows. However, We obtained our order and drove just as dangerously on the way back to Cody's house. Not much longer after that, we all had to dip back to our own houses as it was starting to get pretty late. And that kind of concludes this story, as there really isn't much left to talk about. So, if you guys enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and please subscribe, as it helps my channel out a lot. And do not forget to comment, share your opinion on the video, because that also boosts the channel quite a bit as well. And until next time, peace out.